Sorry, Cap, and welcome to the MMA Monday here for the Funk Report. And you can see I'm already excited and I'm stuttering and I'm like, oh my god, what happened this weekend in the world of MMA? And when I say world of MMA, well, quite frankly, we have to say UFC because nothing much that matters happened, obviously. We had UFC 264, and without further ado, and without being sponsored by Manscaped as the only MMA podcast in the world, let's jump right into the review of UFC 264. What happened at Poirier versus McGregor 3? And well, how do we do this? Shall we start with the main event or shall we build tension towards the main event? Let's try it like this. Let's try to build up towards the main event if I can hold back so long. So when we look at the prelims, a few fights that I found interesting were first, of course, Brett Tavares, because I said Brett Tavares is going to win. And Brett Tavares won in split decision fashion against Omari Akhmedov. Let me check the results. 29-28, 28-29, and 29-28. So, yeah, perfect example. Prime example for a split decision. I think that's okay. If you think that's not okay, then you're right too, because it's a split decision, back and forth. Not as dominant as I thought it could be, but still got the W, so congratulations. Brett Tavares. Almost all the other fights went the way I predicted because, hey, it's an MMA podcast, not sponsored by Manscaped or Bet Online or Bet whatever, but still showing knowledge here, of course. Jennifer Maia defeated Jessica Evil Eye via UD, I think it's 29-28. I was to say out across the board, but my notes tell me 29-28 twice and 30-27. So clear-cut UD for Jennifer Maia, who opened up Jessica, and no puns here, Jessica I, quite heavily. So congratulations, Jennifer Maia. Well done. I'm already hesitating and stuttering because I looked at the next fight on my notes, which was, and I completely forgot how to pronounce the name, Dricus Du Plessis, from South Africa, versus Trevin Giles, and that was a nasty knockout, like a real punch knockout, like a full power right hand. Good night, Trevin Giles, just the way I predicted it. Don't check my last podcast. So congratulations to Dricus. So that was well done. Also, the way what I predicted, Ilia Topuria defeating Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall with his rolls and stuff, and Topuria's like, yeah, no, and then he saw the opening with Ryan Hall not defending smartly in this case and just went for it and just viciously knocked Ryan Hall out. So congratulations, Ilia Topuria, smart and then aggressive when need be. 11-0 right now, so becoming a real contender. So congratulations, Ilia Topuria, the guy that you should definitely be aware of by now. So well done. And then we had Mr. Backflip in the house, of course, Michel Pereira, Niko Price, UD for Pereira, 29-28 across the board. And there was a nice back and forth kind of thing. So it was, not the barn burner, but it was nice. And of course, Pereira backflipping and stuff, because why not? So he's still a bit more measured than back then when he did only crazy stuff, but more crazy stuff than in his last fight. So I think it's also depending on the opponent, and Niko Price, the right opponent to get this out of Pereira, I believe. So it was nice to watch. I enjoyed it. Michel Pereira, congratulations. So climbing the ranks again. Should be top 10 maybe next. So yeah, congratulations, Pereira. Well done. Looking good without any cardio. I didn't say that. Twitter said it. That was Twitter, not me or YouTube or something. All right, then we had Max Payne Griffin versus Carlos Condit. And I know I picked Carlos Condit just because he's the natural born killer and I have a weak spot for older guys. But of course, Max Payne Griffin, if he's on the money, man, he's a problem to steal some vocabulary from Joe Rogan. He's a problem. So Max Payne Griffin defeating Carlos Condit 29-28, 29-28, 30-27. And Condit wasn't outclassed. It's not like that Griffin was like a class better. It was just a tad bit faster. It's like Condit did connect, but like Griffin just connected harder and faster and more often. So well-earned victory for Max Payne Griffin there. Congratulations. Looking forward to what's next. Carlos Condit now maybe really has to stop thinking about like a run and maybe just go for the legend fights now. Speaking of legends, we then saw on beginning of the main card, we saw a legend in the making, Sean O'Malley, not a legend, versus the already legend now, Kris Moutinho. What a legend. TKO for Sean O'Malley in round 3, 20 seconds before the end. Herb Dean, what you doing? Either stop the fight in the second round or give the guy the 20 seconds so that he did not get knocked out. Like, what in the world? That was unnecessary. Unnecessary damage, yes, but because he didn't stop it earlier, the last 20 seconds, come on, man. Don't take this away from Kris Moutinho, who then, however, got the 75K for fight of the night. And Sean O'Malley was piecing Moutinho up from the get-go, from the very beginning. He landed, I think, 7.5 million strikes in Moutinho's face. Moutinho all bloodied up, but Moutinho just keep pressing forward, and O'Malley only on the back foot for 3 rounds straight, landing almost at will. Moutinho with a few cool counters, like he was then blitzing in, jumping in, swinging wildly, but connecting a few times, so congratulations. But it was all O'Malley, of course, but Moutinho did not stop pressing forward. Even when Herb Dean broke them up in between, Moutinho was just like coming at him, right? Like okay, let me go. And after the break, Moutinho was just moving forward like crazy, like a zombie. So Moutinho, I'm sure, got lots of new fans now. People know his name, know he's got a chin. I hope he's gonna be out of hospital soon. He was trash talking O'Malley. He was flipping O'Malley's corner off. It was hilarious. So Kris Moutinho, for all the shit I talked about Kris Moutinho before with the hair and stuff, you could say the same thing about O'Malley. Great performance, great chin, 7 or 11 days notice or whatever. So well done, Kris Moutinho. We know who you are by now. So well done. Also well done, Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley again called out Dominic Cruz, Cody Garbrandt, Peter Yan. I don't know, most likely gonna get the Garbrandt fight because Cody Garbrandt's not on a winning streak, so what else is he gonna do? So I'm guessing Sean O'Malley versus Cody Garbrandt, where I am assuming Sean O'Malley will have a huge size advantage once again, and I still think that's like his biggest benefit, his biggest advantage in this weight division. He's so much taller than everybody else, so yeah, let's see how far that takes him. In the women's division, we then saw Irene, I think that's how they pronounce it, Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya. Aldana missed weight by like 5 pounds or so which is quite significant. So 30% of her purse goes to Yana Kunitskaya, who then started strong, a bit like Valentina Shevchenko's style in regards to her yelling and shouting, like just screaming with every kick she was throwing. She was throwing lots of kicks. Lots of kicks also didn't land. So she had like this crane kick and a few back kicks and spinning back fists, but nothing really landed. One spinning back fist landed on the guard of Aldana. But then, so she was active for the first few minutes, but nothing really cracked Aldana, nothing really landed, nothing really hurt. And then Aldana slowly started to get into a boxing rhythm, boxing like distance, landing more and more punches, and then eventually set Kunitskaya down and went for the finish. TKO round 1 at 4:35. Yeah, so clear victory for Irene Aldana, and who said she's going up to fighting anybody. She just wants to climb the ladder, so let's just see where this takes her. And eventually she wants to be the champ, but she doesn't want to rush anything, and she believes that eventually she will be up there. She looked really good. Dana White didn't know that she missed weight, so he was like really high on her in the press conference afterwards, and then someone said like, how much does her missing weight play into like what do you think of her? And he's like, she missed weight. So lucky her, he didn't know that before. But yeah, congratulations, Irene Aldana. Great performance. Yana Kunitskaya, back to the drawing board. Maybe don't go like all this crazy fancy spinning stuff. I like it, but don't just throw all those things in the air. Maybe like a bit more measured approach might be helpful here. Okay, then we had Greg Hardy, the Prince of War, all serious and like, yeah, and then music starts playing for his opponent. If you want to be my lover, Spice Girls blasting through the arena. Out comes Tai Tuivasa. Freaking legend, mate. Tai Tuivasa comes out to the Spice Girls, so why not? Then he come out to Celine Dion, like back then, my heart will go on and whatnot. He's just taking the, can I say piss? It's my podcast. He's just taking the piss in regards to like those serious, mean walkouts, which is amazing. And then he starts with a few really nice leg kicks that really wobbled Greg Hardy. You can see he lost like balance a bit and so on. Then Hardy connects with a few jabs. So, I mean, Hardy is huge. It's insane how big he is and his reach advantage. So he jabs him a few times and then like Tuivasa moves back. So he's hurt. And Greg Hardy sees it and is like, okay, I'm going to go for the finish in the first round. And like a minute in. So, but very bit over excited. Maybe he goes in. Tuivasa avoids it, and then just a nice counter left sends down Greg Hardy to the ground. Quick follow-up, and then that's it. Knockout for Tai Tuivasa over Greg Hardy, which I don't want to say something bad about Greg Hardy again, because there's been so many memes have been made and so on. Check out the memes on the Strangle Squad on Instagram. Some hilarious memes in regards to Greg Hardy, the face you make when you can outpoint your wife but get knocked down by someone who comes out with a Spice Girls or something along these lines. I'm not saying any of those things. Check out MMA Twitter and Instagram for this. But yes, Tai Tuivasa won, jumps on the cage, gets a shoe, has a shoey. Yeah, the world is good until the next fight. And that's when the world went to shit. Because Gilbert Burns comes out and just, unfortunately, and that's how you say it when your favorite fighter gets dominated, lays on Stephen Thompson without any damage, just takes him down and keeps him down. Didn't do anything. The referee should have stood them up. Come on. That's what I'm saying because I'm a Stephen Thompson fan. If I'm a Gilbert Burns fan, I'm like, yeah, well, perfect game plan. Don't stand and bang with Stephen Thompson because one of boys is going to F you up, so just take him down and keep him down. And that's what you have to do. So, yeah, game plan worked. It was boring, but congratulations, Gilbert Burns. You did May 928 across the board. The few moments where it was a striking match, Burns did land, but Wonderboy landed more, better, more significant, I believe. That's why he got the second round. But yeah, unfortunately, I was not very inspired by Wonderboy, who also didn't look as great in shape as he did against Vincente Luque back then, I think, or against Jeff Neal back then. At least that's just observation from a fan point of view that I'm just making right here. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think he looked more, I mean, we're almost the same age, so I understand it's hard to keep your six-pack and so on, but he looked more in shape back then than he looked there, from my point of view. He looked more tired here too. Okay. Then main event. And yes, so we're building the tension, and then out comes Conor McGregor as the first fighter of the main event. That's something we don't see that often. And then out comes, by the way, the entrance, McGregor, fantastic, of course. Like, first is Irish folk song and mixed into like Notorious B.I.G. Then the Notorious comes out, which is nice. And Dustin Poirier comes out, which is also cool. Like, he goes black and then he comes out. People booing him like crazy. Like, how can you boo Dustin Poirier? Seriously, what's wrong with you? I understand if you're a McGregor fan, but then you don't need to boo the other guy who's one of the nicest guy in the sport. Anyways, the McGregor starts more karate style. Yes, it's focused McGregor. Like, throw some kicks, some spinning back kicks, some stuff like to the leg kicks, really hard leg kicks. I think DP checked most of them though. Also lands a few shots, but then you think, oh, the old Conor is back. Dustin Poirier gets him onto striking range and hits him with a few clean shots. Gets him against the wall, the cage. And then Conor jumps for a guillotine, like on a jiu-jitsu black belt. It looked a bit like desperation because Dustin Poirier was tagging him quite nicely at that moment in time. Teddy Adler said maybe Conor thought that's how the first fight ended, with Dustin Poirier attacking him against the cage, and that's why he wanted to do something else. And since he's not great in the clinch, maybe he thought he goes for the guillotine. In a clinch, maybe then Poirier would have taken him down and wrestled him. But of course, the guillotine was not really great. Dustin Poirier avoided the pressure, slipped out of the guillotine, and then just ground and pounded McGregor. Then he did let him back up, because that's what he explained later on. McGregor was pulling him down, pulling his glass down, grabbing into the glass, pulling it down so that he could land some up kicks. And that's when Poirier tried to tell Herb Dean, and then McGregor got up again, and then they both go for punches. And this, what you probably saw already, that's when McGregor twisted and his ankle shin, and it snapped and broke it. And then, that was it. Poirier goes in for a few more ground and pound punches. Time runs out in the round, and then McGregor can continue. To be honest, if it wasn't McGregor, the ref would have stopped it, I believe. Even if it's only 5 seconds on the clock left, but he ate those ground and pound punches. It is similar to the Moutinho versus O'Malley thing. He stopped it 20 seconds out just because he thought it's too much damage. If this wouldn't have been the main event, if this wouldn't have been McGregor, I'm sure he would have stopped it while Poirier was raining those punches on the sitting McGregor there. And then, bro can continue. And then McGregor keeps talking shit. What's wrong with you, man? You got outclassed. It could have given a 10-8, definitely a 10-9, but it could have been a 10-8 round for Poirier. You were seconds away from being knocked out, and then he keeps talking trash to Poirier and to his wife. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you, just like this. What is wrong with McGregor? Right by now, it's not cool and fun anymore, that persona. It's just desperate and annoying. And maybe he can take this time now away while he has to heal up, to maybe reflect a little bit on what's going wrong here right now. But the reflection doesn't seem to be his strong suit. I'm very happy that Dustin Poirier won. Congratulations, DP. Next up then, DP versus Charles Oliveira for the title. Charlie Olive's in the building, said congratulations and so on, and he's ready for DP. Probably going to be end of the year, which will be fun. So congratulations, Dustin Poirier, well deserved. I was happy with how this. I'm not happy for Conor breaking his leg, but I'm happy with DP having a dominant performance in the first round after a strong Conor start, and I'm sure he would have stopped him in the second round if he would have made it to the second round. That is. So congratulations, Dustin Poirier. Great fight card overall. It was lots of fun. I watched it all without feeling bored. So yeah, that was fun. Most fights really delivered. I enjoyed this a lot. So well done, UFC. Great fight card that you put on there. Fantastic. Now let's look what's going to happen next week. Next week we will have the return of Bellator first, and then we also have UFC Fight Night again. Other than that, there's no BKFC, there's no ONE Championship, and there's no PFL yet. So let's stick with Bellator and then the UFC event. We will see Bellator 262 next week with two fights that I consider interesting and important. Not that the others are not interesting, but from name recognition, name value. So the co-main event will be Tyrell Fortune, might be familiar with him, against Matt Mitrione. Sure, you're familiar with Matt Mitrione. Matt Mitrione trying to come back and have this one more run in a bit more advanced age, which of course I'm sympathetic towards. Matt Mitrione is, let me check my notes, 13-8. Tyrell Fortune is 10-1, and Tyrell Fortune. He's one of the few heavyweights who looks like an actual athlete, right? So he's jacked, built, strong, and no offense, Matt Mitrione, but the best time might be behind him. Who knows? Yeah, right. Who knows? But I have to go with Tyrell Fortune here. He's been on a run. He's looking ready. He's looking fit, jacked. It's Tyrell Fortune. If Matt Mitrione gets it done, I'm not mad, of course, but I think Tyrell Fortune got this. And then we have the main event, Juliana Velasquez, the champion, versus Denise Kielholz. I did not see Denise Kielholz for a long time, and now there she is in a championship match. She's 6'2" in MMA versus Velasquez, who's 11-0. So Velasquez the clear favorite here. I'm, of course, all for Denise Kielholz, and if you wonder why I'm so excited about Denise Kielholz, if you're in to like kickboxing, like Muay Thai, like me, but then maybe also follow like kickboxing and so on. You know Dennis Kilos being like a multiple times world champion kickboxer from the Netherlands. So when it comes to kickboxing, she's amazing. I have not seen much of her MMA run, to be quite frank, and to be honest. So I need to follow more Bellator, like the lower card matches. It seems where she apparently got enough wins to get this title shot. So I was surprised seeing her in a title picture, but I'm not mad at it because I think she's a fantastic striker. Can't say much about her ground game, but I'm very, very excited for this match. So Bellator, you got me excited. Anytime Denise Kilos fights, I'm all for it. Looking at the records, I would have to say Juliana Velasquez is the clear favorite. I'm guessing she gets it done. I'm rooting for Denise Kilos because us Muay Thai people have to, of course, help hold together. But yeah, let's see. Those should be good fights. UFC is also on next weekend again with a fight night. And in this fight night, we have 3 fights that I find interesting. We have Jeremy Stephens, a hardest hitter hitting 155er, 45er, I don't know. Jeremy Stephens is back in action against Mateusz Gamrot, who I've watched a few times and who also has some power. I would hope Jeremy Stephens can string a few wins together again. I'm not very confident right now after his last few performances, so I'm going for Mateusz Gamrot. Sorry, Jeremy. And I'm not going to make this Conor joke right now. And now I'm going to do something. I'm going to talk about the main event first and then about the co-main event. So the main event is Islam Makhachev. Chael Sonnen. Islam Makhachev. So Islam Makhachev versus Thiago Moises. So Thiago Moises stepped up to face Islam Makhachev. DC says Makhachev is the next champ. His training is insane. He's undefeated, better than Khabib, and so on and so on. Let's see. I mean, he looked untouchable in his fights before. Let's see how he does against Thiago Moises. I think Thiago Moises is somewhere in the top 15, and Makhachev is number 9 right now, I believe. I'm going to say Makhachev until that's a thing, because Chael Sonnen said so. So Islam Makhachev, the clear favorite. I'm picking Makhachev. I think Chael is picking Makhachev too. If Chael picks Makhachev, then maybe that means Makhachev is going to lose, though. So Thiago Moises is the clear underdog here, but maybe that's leaves the pressure off, and he's just going to go in, have some fun, and maybe he can land something on Makhachev. Okay, but I'm going for Islam here. Co-main event is Marion Renault. Why am I talking about her predominantly for this event? Because she's fighting the returning Miesha Tate. And Miesha Tate, when she had her rivalry back then with Ronda Rousey and so on, I thought Miesha Tate is a bit weird. She always came across a bit awkward, not creepy, but awkward. But now since she announced a comeback and the interviews and so on, she was really reflective, calm, kind of cool, and what she said all makes sense, and how she turned her life around, privately and so on, and how she feels after having 2 kids, and how she found new focus and so on. So that was really interesting to hear, and that's why I'm excited to see how Miesha Tate is gonna do in this case, in this event. The way she talks, it's gonna be the retirement fight for Marion Renault, by the way. The way Miesha Tate talks, I do believe her that she's more focused. The pictures on social media, yes, I know it's social media, but she looks jacked. She looks real fit right now, so that should not be an issue, hopefully. 5 years since she retired, and she worked over here in Asia for a while for one championship in Singapore. Now she's back. No hard feelings, Miesha. No hard feelings for leaving us here. I'm going for her. Maybe she's gonna be the first mom champ and not the karate hottie. Miesha Tate. That would be a cool story to see. So, may the best woman win, of course, but Miesha Tate, you got this. Looking forward to seeing how that return fight's going to look like. And then 1, 2, 3 wins, and then maybe she can already challenge for the title. So, Miesha Tate, let's go. You got this. All right, that's it for today's MMA Monday here on the Funk It Pod, because there's not much more happening next week. This was an exciting UFC event. I was oh my god, full of buzz and excitement and so on. Bit anticlimactic with the ending, of course, with Conor breaking his leg. but at least the right person won. And like Khabib said it on Twitter, he said something like, in the end, the good guys do win, or the good people always triumph, or something like this. Congratulations, DP. Hoping to see you holding the championship belt at the end of the year. So the Eagle approves, the GOAT approves. So congratulations, DP. Well done. And, well, let me know what you thought about UFC 264. Did you agree with the decisions? Do you say, hey, it was just luck for Poirier? Conor was just holding back. He would have destroyed him in the second round, and I think there needs to be a fourth match and so on. Let me know what you think in the comments on social media at FunkedPod, email funkedpod@gmail.com. Shout out. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to this podcast, to this video, and so on. And until then, I'll see you next time. Take care, stay safe. Sawadee Cup.